How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Q&A. Specifically, welcome to the guy who asked me to stop welcoming you back. I forgot his name, sorry. Today we have Mod Matt K.
Hi.
Mod Jed.
Hey.
Mod Kieran.
Yo.
Mod Ash.
Hello.
And myself, Mod Archie. In addition, Mod Ronan is behind today's Q&A with Mod Maz. So hopefully the stream is in fact muted very frequently throughout the stream. Okay. Does anybody want to go through today's updates?
There's
Jed.
so many.
Looking very eager.
I'm gonna let Kieran
Take us through
this.
the
Oh yeah,
list.
I'll go. So the main update today were a lot of graphical improvements to there, which went down very well. You all seem to love them. The new path set, etc. Looks really good. The new center of Koren with the new statue, which falls into the new mini quest. Architectural Alliance. It's the name we've given it. We were considering the name earlier this week, and we were like, this is going to be hard to see on the stream on Thursday. But so the aim of this mini quest is that you go around getting 5 sculptors from each house. They help each other build a statue, and in doing this, you are allowed to keep 100% favor in every single one of the houses, allowing you to access all the content on there, such as the Necromancy Spellbook, the Tide Farming minigame, Blood and Soul Runecrafting, all at the same time.
Stack two.
I shouldn't talk, man. And on top of this, we had the 9 of the 10 general quality of life poll things, apart from the Nightmare Zone one, which will be coming next week, hopefully, assuming it passes testing. And so the 9 ones we had, I'm never going to be able to name these.
Right.
That's right. I think
Any idea? Anyone want to contribute?
There's one about that thing that you hold under your arm. What was that? The magic something or
The
other.
prayer books.
The what?
The prayer books. God damn it! No! Lured.
Prayer books.
Yeah, so you can now get as many prayer books as you want. You don't have to complete your first one before you can buy others, etc. New fairy ring near the lighthouse.
Do we do any advertising for it on that social media channel?
What, Twitter?
No, the other one.
What, Facebook? Lured again!
Okay.
I didn't see that coming. But yeah, a bunch of other small things as well. Very nice update. It was packed full of content.
And it looks really nice now.
Yeah, it looks
does.
amazing.
I have one complaint about Zaya though. Alfie made some trebuchets,
This is a
Yeah.
pun, I can already
but,
tell.
but they're not trebuchets. I was quite disappointed. Actually, mangonels. It wouldn't actually work because he hasn't got them working right. So I'm disappointed that he can get the catapults working properly. Called them the wrong thing.
I think maybe one person understood that.
Yeah, me. That's about it, yeah.
To those asking about Ronan's bowl,
Do you want to show? Has anybody seen his haircut yet?
no, he caved. He got a haircut. he couldn't take it. He was like, "Can you guys go to Tesco for me? I don't want to go out and get food."
I'm not surprised. Did you see the back of his hair? It was horrendous.
I thought the deal was he was going to be given a haircut, not kind of plucked in obscure ways at the back of his head or something.
Ian-
I mean, a
Ian
bowl
did it
cut's
wrong.
one thing, but he had 2 bald patches. So,
Maybe if we get enough spam, he'll show you guys. Moving on. Let's get into the questions then. So first one's from Xalx, who says, last year it was mentioned that we'd be able to craft altars for a player-owned house that allows us to switch spellbooks to Lunar and Ancients. Will an altar also be added for Necromancy?
Well, if it's a spellbook switching altar, then it seems reasonable to expand it for that one as well.
Absolutely.
We just make sure that you've unlocked all these spellbooks in the traditional way before you get one conveniently in your house.
certainly. And it would be a high construction requirement on that.
Might want one heck of a cost on it and all.
Yeah.
Yes, that'd be nice.
A few magic stones, that sort of thing.
Okay. In addition, follow-up again, any news on when this construction update's going to be?
Some point. Eventually.
Some point in the
I-
future of time.
Next, not this half year. I would imagine probably
I would
next
like to
half
see
year.
it out before RuneFest on the grounds that it's good to go to RuneFest and talk about things we, want to do in the future year rather than talk about things that we didn't do in the year since
I
the
think
last
that
one.
would work quite
I
nicely.
mean, I want that menu.
And what I
menu.
think, what I think the next step should be is in maybe the next month or so do another priority poll, find out what the players want are important, and then we can build some stuff around that, see if it fits in, see where we go from there.
I don't mean to ask that construction question every single week, but it's asked like 12 times. It's by far the most frequently asked question we've had this year.
It's fitting it into the schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got Monkey Madness 2 We've got Zenyte and raids. So we've got the big pieces of content for the next few months. Deadman mode seasonals as well before that. So we've got the big key things in place essentially.
The key beats, you could say.
Yeah. We've also we've got the once we've got the additional capacity of the new developer. We told them the new developer yet?
Don't believe so.
Right. Once we've got the new capacity of the new developer, that gives us more capacity to do stuff. Once we've got the QA to actually deal with that stuff. The problem is you have a load of developers, they create lots of stuff. If there's not enough people to QA it, we can't put it out. So we need to increase QA alongside development as well. So once we've got all that upstage, we have more capacity to make more stuff, which means it could even come sooner. So,
Yeah.
So we'll see how that all goes.
Just to clarify, we don't actually have a new dev yet. We're still looking for one. Okay, moving on. Jobo, could we replace Neve's cave? It doesn't belong. Rather than having a bunch of monsters in a cave, he says they don't fit. He's proposing various separate caves around the world that would have NPCs from their local habitat, if you may. So kind of like, DKs would be on a cave in Relica, as well as whatever monsters are around there, etc.
It makes sense, I guess. It was polled and voted in that they wanted Neve's cave.
Yep. In fact, whenever it got expanded, it was because of people voting for it in polls as well.
So there is, I think the community are probably saying, let's leave it alone. But I mean, the idea does make sense. It does make a logical sense to do that, but it clearly isn't something which.
I don't think we'd ever manage to get through 75% in a poll.
We certainly don't look like it from that.
No,
It's a good point that it's exactly what was polled and it's what people voted for, and I have a hard time believing that many people have suddenly changed their minds. So that suggests this is a.
I certainly wouldn't be against having other dungeons around the world, but I doubt we would ever be able to actually just delete Neve's Cave or half of it.
I am vaguely against putting more kinds of creature in it, though.
Yeah.
So when we did the Wyvern task-only expansion, we put it somewhere else, like in the Wyvern Cave, and I think it looks quite nice there.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
But I would be willing to, have more things like that in different places around the world in future instead of expanding it down Neve's Cave.
I think this would be a good one for a straw poll, only because I'm convinced it wouldn't come anywhere near passing. That being said, no, I've just made it pass, so.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, if people really wanted it,
so we're going to go ahead and get a straw poll in the chat for you guys. Would you like Neve's Cave removed entirely? It's gone. Instead replaced with various caves around the map with monsters that
which would also be
fit that area
to match Neve's Cave, I suppose.
Now, there's further details into this idea here, which I'll wait for them to vote on this currently before we pitch that as well. But he's specifically asking for larger rooms that cannons would be allowed to be in. Smaller rooms, I guess, not.
So like Neve's Cave, but not in Neve's Cave.
Yeah. Also, he goes very in depth. Actually, I was giving this thread a look. Way too much for me to go into discussion about today. But he had like dialogue for NPCs there and a whole bunch of stuff. So immersive thread, if nothing else.
Okay.
We'll see what we
It's
get
good to see
back.
people put that much effort into something.
Yeah, I do love
Sounds
it
nice.
when people just put so much effort into a design and a lot of thought goes into it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
So go ahead and vote in that straw poll, guys. We'll get the results up shortly. Moving on to the next question then. Let's see here. Never mind, results back already. That's what I figured. 53% yes, 47 no. Already over 1,000 votes. That was quick. A very passionate topic, but unfortunately a very controversial one. Again, it was voted in.
Yeah.
So you can see those people voting again to keep it. They like the convenience. They
I
like
think
the
it
easy
means
escape.
people are still up for variety. So adding new content around the world in different places and giving reason to go elsewhere is something that I imagine would be valuable.
Okay. La Mouse asks, could you make it possible to fly between Gnome Glider destinations without visiting the Grand Tree first?
This is something we could look into, because I mean, we might be looking into adding perhaps more places in the future onto that map, and the current way it works, it's just the animation of going to each place from the Grand Tree. And so the reason why we can't go straight to a destination is we'd have to go to the Grand Tree first and then back out.
For the sake of the animation.
Yeah.
Well, if we had some of them animated and some of them not animated, it might look rather lame. So yeah, that does matter. However, Maz had a suggestion for how to make the animation much more efficiently by just using client script to move the thing along a line rather than using the graphics team's animations for it. Wouldn't get a nice kind of acceleration deceleration effect unless you really programmed it fancy, which you can do. But for the moment, yeah, it would look really quite lame if you just don't get the animation for some and do for others because we couldn't be bothered to do something consistent.
Could we also make it run the animation for flying to the Grand Tree, then the animation for flying from the Grand Tree, just in one action rather than
That we can do.
manually? Yeah.
I might be kind of criticised for taking longer than necessary,
Yeah.
of course. And talking of those animations, it'd be nice to use an interface like that for the Magic Carpet, rather
That
than
would-
having you dragged through the desert laboriously as it currently does.
Yes, that would be very nice.
Yeah, when the developer was writing that back in the day, he went and spawned a whole load of red dragons all over the desert so he could test whether you could be attacked by creatures as you were on the carpet. So he just mapped down red dragons everywhere and sent us all lots of emails saying, don't copy this up to live. Could have been fun, that.
I guess NPC ad didn't exist.
No, it didn't. We got that really quite recently.
Oh, wow.
Right. So
There
the
is,
answer.
there is some charm about the Magic Carpet, though, and the way that you're actually on it.
It's charming. It's nicely done, and like he put a lot of effort into it. And I think it would be really much nicer to use if he hadn't.
Yeah.
So the answer to the question was yes.
And let's talk about Magic Carpets while we're about it.
Yes. And that was not an easy yes, I take it then. It would.
The easy one would
Probably-
be having it go to the Grand Tree and then go to destination, wherever you're going from. But obviously that's going to make it longer.
Right.
I don't suppose this is something we're considering as an extra little reward for Monkey Madness.
I thought if we were adding new places for that, then it would entail remaking the interface anyway. So
Well, they'll never know if we are, so
yeah.
I guess until they complete it. Right.
Until somebody completes it, tells everybody else.
Yeah.
Yep. Result.
Super top secret. All right. Moving on then. Is this stream live? Asks, can the Well of Goodwill take noted items or at least multiple items next year?
I think we want to rework it for next year, don't we? Make
Yeah.
it a bit more convenient. After watching Paul do what he did, he put a lot of effort into doing something which probably wasn't that exciting, dropping everything into the will bit by bit by bit by bit by bit.
I think we can make a nicer interface
Yeah.
for these purposes than what was possible, or at least what was done in 2014.
Indeed, yeah.
Definitely.
Pause in the chat right
But
now
on
saying
that
yes.
topic, a huge thanks to the community and how much money you've managed to raise. I think it was 35 billion, just over 35
Yeah,
billion that was
yeah.
put in the well.
Absolutely crazy.
Works out at $35,000 for special event. It's just incredible.
Yeah, no, so I mean, last year I think we had about $3,000 come out of it, and
Yeah.
so we weren't expecting much, but 35,000.
It's like there was a huge push from all of the community,
Absolutely.
and it was great to see.
Yeah, actually staying on the topic, we're going to skip way down here to this question that's more relevant now from Is My Strength Zero, aka Paul. Raised over 15 bill for the Well of Goodwill, so if we can get some clappers in the chat, that is phenomenal.
Absolutely.
In addition, Game Blast, if you guys did tune in, some of the highlights that happened, including Ronan's bowl cut, went up yesterday. You can find that on our YouTube channel. That wasn't streamed, so you wouldn't have seen it otherwise. In addition, there's the streamer Q&A, some of your favorite streamers on that, and then there's the bot busting stream, which did really well. So, yeah, cool. It was actually kind of funny. We were toying around with the idea. Well, not really the idea, but I was telling Curtis, I was like, watch, now you're going to get a Dragon Warhammer at Game Blast. And what was it, the next day, 2 days later?
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. So, Robo asks, thoughts on how close Zenyte was in the poll?
I think it was intense, wasn't it? It's
Exciting.
I think it's
Very
It's
back and
the
forth.
closest poll we've ever had, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, GE was close, but it ended up several thousand to the yes at the end.
Yeah.
We very rarely have a poll that does that and sort of crosses the line
Yeah.
multiple times. And when we do, everybody gets a community, everybody gets excited about it. So it's a real quite, for a poll,
It's
for a computer
exciting,
game,
isn't it?
it's exciting.
Gets more people voting too.
Well, absolutely, yeah.
That
absolutely.
whole night before Wednesday when the poll was closing, it was just up and down over that line repeatedly. It was hilarious. It was hilarious to watch.
Some people saying streamer favoritism. Curtis got the Dragon Warhammer suspiciously after visiting Jagex.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fun
well,
fact.
it's not suspicious that it took him 3 times the drop rate to get it. So if you're going to talk streamer favoritism,
we really
wouldn't have
helped
let him
him
get
out
to
there.
15K.
That's
Poor
quite
guy.
Some anti-favoritism there.
Yeah. All right, moving on. General asks, what elements of the clan chat systems will you be polling, and will you be taking any player suggestions?
Yes, we'll be taking suggestions.
I think Maz has been taking suggestions for a month now.
Absolutely. I assume we'll probably poll everything, I would expect.
Probably just a big clan poll.
I would imagine. We can't really not poll it without
I
taking
think we'll
about
probably
it.
say it as like a core. Do you want clans? And then a lot of sub questions of, do you want this
Whatever it is.
feature, that
Yeah.
feature, this feature?
A lot of the questions, well, a lot of the discussion would be what exactly we can have under the hood. And asking the players, would you like the clan system which allows us to store variables in this way?
Yeah.
Isn't entirely informative to them.
Indeed.
So we'd probably focus it based on the gameplay features that they'd be getting rather than the stuff we're discussing at the moment.
Yeah, I would imagine that it'll be along the lines of the core system, which would be a recruitment system in game, a clan chat system in game, a clan ranking system in game, and then probably a whole load of extras on top of that they'd vote for individually. I don't even know if we'd bother offering citadels, in all honesty.
Well,
I
we
hope
wouldn't
not.
do
Hope
that.
We're not
I
offering
can't
Citadel.
imagine it would pass.
We'd be
yeah.
very happy to give them a little private place where they can have a meeting without other people wandering by and listening to it. But no
Yes.
citadels.
Yeah, in their own house, maybe. This is really a few questions here from Mod Maz. ETA on the new clan system?
I think what that gesture meant is
Next week.
I believe what it meant is soon TM.
It means engine work.
with engine work, which can't start immediately because there's still other engine work that
Yeah.
we are still waiting for. We can't always get a clear ETA because sometimes they don't know how long it's going to take. Sometimes they have to queue it with other work that needs to be done because there's not a lot of engine devs for a company this size, sadly. So no, we can't give an ETA.
Okay. Last clan question here. What will be the core differences between a friends chat and the clan chat?
I'd say that a friends chat is a temporary thing where you get together for an event or a trip, a raid if you will, and a clan is a more permanent thing where you may not have the whole clan going on a trip at the same time, but it's your permanent group of friends that persists independently of who's online at any time.
Okay.
That's a bit more philosophical than the player necessarily wanted.
Moving on. Glenn asks, can we please get an in-client world map?
Love to.
I'd rather have a clan system than that, and the engine team won't be able to do both at once.
Okay. There it is. Okay, I'm going to jump to this question, actually. We're jumping all over the questions today. To follow up to that, the penman asked, like we had a month of quality of life updates, can we have a month of only client updates?
No.
It's kind of like, can we have a month of only engine updates?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what it boils down to. It's, you know, if we had a team of engine devs, then we could do a lot more engine stuff, but we got one, we got Ian. And we need him to make the Deadman stuff, the tournaments and the seasonal servers, and then the raid stuff, and then the clan stuff, and trying to drop some other bot stuff in there while we're doing it as well.
Still got like resizable interfaces and all that stuff.
Resizable interfaces. We've also got the issue of trying to get the game working on more than one core as well, which we need to start thinking about soon. So, as, you know, I've got a meeting tomorrow actually about the amount of engine jobs we've got, and it's long, very, very long. So, yeah, love to.
Poor Ian.
Yeah.
Want to
poor
learn
Ian.
how to work on the engine map?
Good job, security.
Yes. Yeah, I would love to work to learn on the blah 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 engine words, love, and put words together to
My
make
favourite time is
sentences coherent.
when you try to explain technical things. You've been in a meeting discussing engine stuff with someone, and you come out and you just say bits and bobs and number, change that number to this number.
There was one meeting I was sitting there with Ian and the head of technology, Mod Bilby, or whatever his job title is now, technology director or whatever it is. And they were talking about stuff, and they turned to me after they talked about it and said, all right, so what should we do? And I was like, right, you do what he said. And that was it. That was my input into the meeting. Didn't understand what they were talking about.
All right. Question here from Josh, who asks, will the 1 hour death timers be changed back to normal? I feel like this is a bit more relevant now as there haven't been any problems that I've known of as of late. Been doing pretty good.
Looking at the logs, I do see the occasional sign of lots of people having disconnected at about the same time as each other, and that is kind of suspicious unless they all spontaneously decided to log out, which can happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few issues the last couple of days. Don't know what they are. I mean, most of the issues we're getting these days are technical issues with the network rather than any DDoSing or what have you.
We are vastly more secure.
We are, hugely more secure. I think a bit of work still needs to be done before I'm confident to take that step.
We've come quite a long way since the summer of 2014, when
Yes.
you were just offline all the time, and we had to make some design decisions for Zora based on the idea that people would be fighting it while disconnecting. Much better now.
Yeah. I mean, it is. And what we've got now is hugely better, and it should be some long-term success with it. But I still want a few things to happen first. So I'm confident of that. And then we've got the whole issue of how do we inform people, because the biggest issue isn't necessarily making the change and then people who DC lose their items. That's not necessarily the bad thing. The difficult thing is telling everybody that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to break a few rules that we've put in place, such as the pop-up rule that we don't want to ever do. And I think if we're going to have a pop-up in game that tells you something, it's got to be that.
We can find ways of making a message come up, preferably without interfering with your ability to survive the dragon you just logged in next to. Something that hasn't always been done right.
Yeah, we've got some significant communication issues to deal with there, which is going to be the biggest problem.
How far off do you think we are from
It's
being in a position to change it?
sounds near
Summer,
impossible to
I'd like to
time
get it done ready
estimate.
for raids. That would be
That'd
quite
be good.
nice.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
get done ready for raids. That'd be good.
And that's what, Q3?
Yeah,
Ish.
so June-ish.
Right, next question then. Can we get Orb of Oculus? Another question for Ian.
Another engine job,
Yeah.
and a rather lower priority one than quite a lot of the other gameplay related ones that we get.
High priority for me and this guy.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
Well, you can learn to engine dev if you like, Chris.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Mo asks, earlier this year I asked you if you could add 3 teleports to the Artie Farm patch with Artie Hard Diaries. You said yes, but it hasn't happened. Is that something we'd like to do?
We are, of course, willing to do it. There's a lot of these requests. Not every single one of them is going to get to a poll because, dev time is finite. But that is a nice one.
Happy to.
Okay. Try to
Bring
follow
your
up
pad
with that
down.
after this,
I
actually.
didn't.
I'll follow it up to it
In the
with it
brain.
afterwards. There's a couple of those, actually, in this. Starbucks asks, can your bank pin be saved after world hopping or logging out for a couple of minutes or less?
That is another one that I would like some engine assistance with. In particular, I would like to be able to confirm that the IP address from which you're logged in is the same one you were logged in your
indeed.
previous session when you entered your PIN.
RS3 just got this, right?
Yes, and engine RS3 has a lot more access to engine devs. We've asked for it, but there's more urgent things apparently.
I went to Starbucks at the weekend. A new Starbucks opened in Ely. Talk about Starbucks and his name, you see.
Was it the burnt caramel latte?
I think it was a brand new Starbucks. It was Monday. It was a brand new Starbucks, and it took them 40 minutes to get me a cup of coffee.
Oh,
It was horrific.
I was gonna.
Starbucks.
The funniest thing was
Right.
I had a sign on the wall that said, get free whatever it is with your coffee all the way through January. I'm like, it's February the 29th.
Starbucks is so overrated.
No, I thought we were gonna relate. I just had their new burnt caramel latte. My God, it was so good. I was like, I don't even know. I understand the hype now.
I had the one
Totally.
with rose and pistachio. I'm not having that again. It was interesting.
Sounds horrible.
But then I had the donkey sausage
More
in that
importantly,
stream 2 weeks ago.
sorry. More importantly, you say latte or latte here?
Latte.
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 What do you say?
Latte.
You say. See, I ask for a coffee every morning, and I say like latte, and they're just like, oh, you mean latte? And I'm like, and then they change the next day.
Latte.
Latte. Say posh.
It's
Say
Italian, so it
grass or
sounds
grass?
much more.
Grass or grass?
Whatever. All right.
Grass.
The
Grass.
chat
Bath.
will get me.
Pavement or sidewalk?
We're very on topic today. All right. Slaya asks, when will we get the option to unlock Shaman Slayer assignments?
We'd like that. It didn't get onto the quality of life polls, but it could certainly be polled in the fairly near future, I'd hope.
I missed the question.
Unlockable Lizardman Slayer tasks,
yes.
which
Nice,
could be
that
rather
was it.
helpful for the shamans.
I'm very up for that now that 100% favour can be kept.
Yeah, indeed.
Cool. RB, concerns over Darkscape shutting down and what it means for Deadman.
Doesn't mean anything, really.
Well, you know our plans for Deadman.
Yeah.
We've been talking about those seasonal tournaments for quite some time.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, we've got another 12 months of seasonal tournaments planned, along with some quite exciting stuff to happen with the competitions that are going up. So
There's a lot of Deadman
Yeah.
stuff coming.
yeah, there's plenty of life in it there. It's a long way to go. And I do think that the long-term seasonal, the long-term Deadman servers, the ones that are going to exist throughout that aren't seasonal, that currently do exist, are probably going to get less and less people playing on them. But we expected that seasonal was going to happen. In fact,
They'll have their up and downs.
as soon as we announced seasonal, we saw a drop in people playing because they're waiting for seasonal to come and play. So and I think it's difficult to sort of say, or difficult to sort of put any numbers behind it, but the amount of people who are currently talking about seasonal Deadman and the excitement behind that, it makes me think that this is actually quite a good way of going. So
I think one of the biggest differences is that our permanent Deadman servers require basically no upkeep from us, while Darkscape ran on completely separate game worlds and had to have their own updates and be kept up to date with everything else that was going on. So it's quite different to how Deadman is ran.
It's one of the things that we did as a design decision when we were making Deadman mode was to keep the repository united so that updates to one do come to the other, even if the save games are separate. Means that we fix a bug in one, we don't have to copy the fix to the other and adapt it. And Darkscape worked differently, so they had a lot more of these things to worry about than we did.
Mod Ash, do your elbow thing. Been a while.
oh, we get a drum roll.
Hoodie off and everything.
Oh, the fingers. Didn't expect
It's our
the
own
fingers.
version. It's our own version of Flappy Bird.
Oh boy, this is on Reddit now. Already. All right.
They seem to have noticed that.
There's like the crawling hands attacking me right there.
Everyone's got a special skill. That one's mine. What's yours?
I don't have one. Deadman related though. We mentioned applications are going to open the 16th.
Anybody who's in the top 2,000 of the
Yep.
current Deadman high scores at midday on the 16th of March will have access to the Deadman tournament that starts at midday on the 21st of March.
And by top 2,000, we mean top 2,000 like total level.
That's
so
right, yeah.
if you haven't been grinding, you're going to want to get grinding. If you want to be in that top 2,000, you can compete for $10,000. Be a lot of fun. A lot of fun to
That's
watch.
right. I mean, the way it's going to work is you've got 5 days. Basically, the 21st on midday, the tournament servers will open. You will play from a brand new Deadman account and level up that account. It will get to 6:30 p.m. on the 26th of March, and then you'll all be dropped into this big. I think it's basically the free-to-play map where it will suddenly become permadeath, and then the last person surviving, or the highest level person surviving at 7:30. That's an hour later. Will win the 10 grand.
It's exciting. As you can tell, we're very excited.
Well, you can see it's not being shut down. Not if there's like 10 grand prizes knocking about for it.
We've got
It's quite the opposite.
we'll be streaming obviously that hour live. We've got some guest streamers coming in to do it, and hopefully some quite big ones that you haven't seen us stream with before, which will be quite cool.
Yep.
From a special location, which I'll confirm shortly. And we've got some cool stuff happening. And for those who are worrying about the team things, we've got some stuff in there to stop teaming happening as well. So it should be interesting to see how that works.
The idea is for it to be a single player thing, a very solo mode,
Exactly.
to see who's truly the best single player. Question there from the chat asking, what about people who are in the top 2,000 but don't play anymore? Do they still take spots from the people who aren't as high rank but would like to attend?
They do, yes. You've got to be in the top 2,000.
Yeah.
So if you're not in the top 2,000 on the 16th of March at midday, you're not getting into that competition. So you need to get yourself levelling. And to be fair, you don't have to level too hard. You've got, 5 times the XP anyway.
You're going to want to take advantage of it now because some of the worlds are...
That's why we're telling you now you've got 2 weeks to do it. And
Yeah.
to be honest with you, you'll be up there in 2 weeks' time as long as you get on and do it, quite frankly. So
Ultimately, I can't see too many people out of the top 2,000 not wanting to participate.
You know, I
given
really
the
want
prize
to...
money and everything.
yeah.
I really want to track, 5 minutes before the update, see if anybody dies.
Yeah.
Anyways, PKing with their 2,000 rank.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, there's lots of excitement behind this.
It'll be
I think it's
interesting
been
to
a
see
lot
how
of fun to
people
watch.
approach that. Given it's a much shorter time period, there's 6-7 days. It's going to be interesting
Yeah,
to see
absolutely.
what people do. Whether they go out all out, PK people and try and get extra loot, or
It's going to be rather exciting.
they try to train in secret, get high levels, and try and obtain some good weaponry. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's quite interesting because, that time when you're that last hour, your account has got to be the best it could possibly be in that last hour. So you've got to have the
You've got
weapons,
to time
you've got to have the food.
You've got to time
have
your
the-
peak correctly. And
I can't see too many people leveling farming, let's say.
I mean, but if, in the end, if you end up being that one guy who's got the best gear,
Yeah,
everyone else groups on you in that final
yeah, absolutely.
hour, then
So yeah,
All right.
going to be exciting.
Let's go to the next question then. Kuba asks, could you perhaps change the left-click option on rune crafting pouches to empty when they are filled with essence?
The inventory display panel doesn't currently support dynamic rearranging of ops like it did in 2009 and beyond. To make it do so, we would need to first convert a lot of other interfaces from an old interface format to a more modern one, because at the moment a lot of them are still piggybacking on the data transmission to the inventory panel. So if we convert that, then a lot of those other interfaces will probably stop working unexpectedly. That is not going to be a quick thing, but in future hopefully it'll be possible. Not offering it just now though.
Okay. To follow up to that question, he's also asked, is it possible for binding necklaces to show their remaining charges like other jewelry?
If they're getting it off a variable,
it's from a variable.
then no, we can't display it on the interface either. It doesn't support dynamic renaming of items or extra stuff like that yet.
Ooh.
They also have 16 charges, so it would be a lot to convert to separate items.
It's
like
15
the other
charges,
jewelry
isn't
works.
it?
I think they want it
We upped
changed
it to
to
They want it
16.
changed to
Did
16.
we
Have
not
we done that?
do that? I can't remember.
I don't remember us doing that, but either way, we could.
I think it's on the list, maybe.
If we turn it into different items for the number of charges, then a player who's got more than one of the things at the moment is in for a big surprise when that update goes out, because I'm not sure what it's going to do to their stockpile of the things. They might end up being slightly, what's the polite word? Done over. That's it.
That works.
Okay. Next question then. Mo, when can we expect to see the unsold head bag pulled?
Might be a reasonable thing to include soon. And then whenever we do a next quality life pull, I'd like to see it really, given that more people are likely to be using necromancy now. I think there's a good reason to do it.
Still want something they wear heads hanging off their belts. Still think that's much better.
If we could animate the heads hanging off them to talk and scream or something, that'd be cool.
I like that.
It'd be like the rat pole, only as useful, only
A bit darker.
All right. Next question then. Urf asks, can we get the task for Tsar for all Slayer Masters? Tsar, Tazar, whatever. Or at least from Childar. It's pointless to spend 100 points to unlock a task that you only get to access from 2 masters.
Yep, I would very happily add that to the some of the lower masters.
seem reasonable.
Awesome. Wobble, again, following up on a question saying that we mentioned gargoyles and necros having a drop buff. When can we expect to see this?
Sometime
One
on a
day.
poll, sometime.
Yeah. It's one of those many jobs. It's probably what several thousand jobs that we could possibly do.
Yep.
The drop table changes aren't some of the quickest jobs to do. It's not that it takes a long time to implement. It's a matter of the need balancing, choosing how much we actually want to improve it by, that sort of thing. So it can be done. I would be happy to, because their drop tables are pretty weak.
Okay. The Penman, we already answered that one. Through says, when you store a pet with the metamorphosis option, such as pet snakeling or baby chinchampa, in your player-owned house, over time it will rotate through different forms at random. Can this be fixed?
Isn't it meant to do that?
No, so if you get the golden chinchampa and you store it in your house, it might give you back a normal one.
Yeah, the houses were never programmed to store the type of pet because all the pets could just be switched independently, so we didn't bother allocating extra data storage for a pet that actually cares what colour it is at the time. Unfortunately, when we introduced the golden one, people who've got the golden one find that the house was never designed to store it like that. It's not an entirely easy thing to change either.
And the issue with the golden chinchump is that it's rare to switch to it, while the others, obviously, it's just a matter of clicking the metamorphosis option once or twice. the golden one's a rare opportunity, so it's. But unfortunately, that's the case with how the BOHs were.
Which is why we've held back from doing any more pets that have, rare recolours or unlockable recolours.
Yeah.
But we're not proposing to remove the golden thing, of course. That would be sad.
Okay. This one's from Mod Muted. It says Mep asks, can we get a crystal bow buff? It should be superior to the rune crossbow with Armored Book, or a decrease in cost per shot. What do you think about the crystal bow?
I mean, the uses it has at the moment, I just see people ragging with it.
Yeah.
To make it better, I'm not sure that's something we want to do.
It's quite pricey in comparison to everything else.
Yeah.
I think people just kind of think back nostalgically like it used to be the best, right? And this was a very long time ago, and they want to see that, of course, return.
I would be very open to a higher tier bow that has infinite ammo.
So something new instead
Something
of just
new
buffing the
that
crystal bow.
essentially does a similar thing.
I'd
At a
want,
higher tier.
I'd want it to be able to drop to a PKer rather than always be kept as a one-item thing. perhaps.
Definitely.
I agree to that, 100%.
Because the problem with the crystal bow isn't, the balancing of the cost or versus what it does. It's the fact that someone dies with it, they probably keep it, or they run back and get it again, and it doesn't, work very well in the wilderness. It used to be, of course, about the only item like that. There's been a lot more untradeable weapons turn up over the years. When we brought the wilderness back in 2011, we had loads of these things to deal with. But if we could design a solution to the crystal bow, or the new thing that's like a better crystal bow, then sure, the mechanic's not a problem.
Yeah, they've been asking for a buff to the circle, so there's something to look at there.
Circle and crystal bow, stick them together.
Yeah, it doesn't have to make
Use the both
sense.
of them.
Use a crystal seed on the circle, bring it to an elf, and then she makes it.
Yeah, becomes a crystal.
I'm a designer, by the way.
bow.
Stick them
Maybe-
together and it's got like two sides and the strings down the middle, and you can't fire anything with it. It looks awesome.
Circle's use is that it's useless.
Moving on.
Moving on. Mo asks, will we be getting more total worlds soon? Sorry, as in a UK 2K Total World.
Didn't
Wow.
Yes.
Conveniently.
Yeah.
Yes, well, that's all right.
You
Then.
did ask this question. I'm not faking it.
Okay, well,
We were just talking about this. So that's been done now, has it?
this morning.
Wow, that was quick. Awesome. Okay.
When we took the tournament worlds down, there were two of them, one in the States, one in the UK, and we had the UK one made into a 2K Total World.
That should make a lot of people very happy then.
Hopefully it was a good time for it, because people couldn't have been using it as their home world while it was a tournament world in
Indeed,
the usual
yeah,
way.
yeah.
And we did want to have a high-level world that was on this side of the Atlantic to go with the one that on the other side of the Atlantic already. People have been asking whether we'll go for higher level ones, by the way, like 2100, 2200, a max world. For the moment, there's 2,500 people can go on a 2,000 skill total world.
Something like that.
Thereabouts.
I think there's about 250 max players. Or was it 350? Something around there.
Don't get the number wrong.
Yeah.
You will find out.
It's one of those two numbers,
I can
250-ish
hear
or
Reddit talking
350-ish.
about it already.
You didn't even know the number of total max players?
Kieran.
Unbelievable. Mod Kieran, everybody.
Unbelievable.
And
But yes,
anyone
it-
applying for a job here now knows what will be asked in the entrance exam.
But yes, unfortunately, for a max world, it's not quite enough.
And it'd be very funny if you guys ever do vote for us to put in a new skill, which comes up quite often, so it might actually happen. That would be great to have a world where the big challenge is to who's going to be the first person to log into it who isn't a JMod. That could be quite cool, but isn't worth dedicating the entire server to just for now.
Indeed.
Alright, question here from Pirate Ship, who says, can we get another Calquat / Cactus patch somewhere? That's a tongue twister. Calquat, and Cactus patch somewhere.
Why do they want more Calquat fruit?
Don't know.
Calquat's actually good to plant.
Okay.
I believe it takes about 2 days to grow, and it has a good XP return. So
Oh, it's an XP thing rather than for the fruit. That's
yeah, no one cares about the fruit. It's just for XP. Cactus, anyone's guess.
Well, the spines have their uses in potion making, I guess.
Yeah, that's
I always
true.
used to be able to sell mine all right. It's not hard to make another copy of an existing patch.
more than open to
The
it.
Cactus is the only patch which has a musical jingle written for when you check its health.
That's interesting.
We don't know why.
I want to listen to this now.
There's a follow-up to that, actually. Somebody else asking, local, saying, can we increase the number of cactus spines harvested from the cactus patch based on a player's farming level? Similarly, because it may as well be grouped in, same for the number of flowers and fruits harvested based on a player's farming level. So all fruits and flowers.
The thing about the vines where we did that is that we did it at the time of creating it and balanced accordingly. If we do that to all the fruit trees that have been in existence already, then suddenly that's quite a radical change to, not the XP necessarily, but to the amount of fruit you can get off the things.
There's also another issue in that it regrows the fruit. Bushes also regrow their stuff. So it would be a constantly respawning thing that you can keep on going back and getting higher amounts for your levels. So it would be a big buff to it. I'd rather offer a second patch.
Yeah.
Okay.
How does the cactus noise make? What sort of noise does it make on check health?
I never listened to it.
Fair enough.
I was expecting like an identical replica of the noise.
It may have been, it may have been written in the wrong place as well, but there was a cactus growth jingle plugged into it. I may have taken it out again for consistency at some point though. But yeah,
Okay.
we have a cactus growth jingle written by the audio team specially for people who check the health of a cactus.
I think that should go to the next poll.
It's
If
gonna be like
if it's
a-
in there, we should poll to take it out, and if it's not in there, we should poll to add it back in.
Yeah. It's just going to be
Prickly.
like
I think
a guy
that's the key
saying,
thing.
like, hey, you got a cactus.
Maybe it just goes ow.
That's even worse than mine, man.
I think in the PH menageries, if you click on the cactus centerpiece, it does make you go ow.
What? I mean, somebody said in the chat it goes. Do.
Oh, sandstorm.
That's the thing.
Okay. Next question. So another one from Jet here. Mo says, if Monkey Madness 2 gives 4 or more quest points as a reward, will we be seeing a 6th block on the Slayer slot thing as a result?
Yeah, sure. So if there's an additional 4 quest points that bring you up to 250, and to keep in line with adding a new slot for, I think it's every 50 quest points, then yeah, we'll definitely be throwing in one of them.
I almost want... There was a thread on Reddit saying, make it 4 just so that 250 is a big round number, and no one in that thread clicked.
Really?
That 250 would be like the 6th Slayer task.
Well, I've been asking for that for a long time.
But I almost want to make it 5 Slayer quest points just so that it's not an even number.
So is that confirmation it'll give 4 QP?
W.
We got there. All right. Memes. Generic says, when will you pull a buff to scale fishing?
I'm trying to work out what he meant by W.
Yeah, well, I'll show you later, Ash.
That sounds terrible.
It does, doesn't it?
The chat will show you. Scale buff, fishing.
You know, we could just do that in response to the fact that we have recently changed the rate at which you can get scales into the game. So I'd be willing to take that as a feedback job as is.
Yep, I'd be very happy to do that too.
Okay. GB Chris, a while back you said another look would be taken at the rare drop table. I believe Ian said it'd be possible, he wouldn't mind taking the rarity of all items down a notch and adding a few more super rare drops that equate to that of the Dragon Spear / Shield left half. Any chance we can see that happen?
Are we talking about new items being brought in for the
So
VR things?
he's got a couple of requests. It sounds like he wants to take down the rarity of all rare items. In addition, introduce new super rare items.
These be new items or just items already in the game that he wants on his rare list?
That's a good
I mean,
question.
the difficulty is the new items, if they are brand new items.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure we could find some things which are quite rare, which
could
we could dump in there.
Add some mega rare new items to the elite clue table. Something like
I'm
that.
very open to doing some buff to that drop table, or giving the Ring of Wealth a use with it.
Technically, it's got one. It's the one place it's got to use.
Yeah.
Yes, the most useless use of them all.
Well, it reduces that 1 in 40,000 chance of the corp dropping 0, I think.
Nice. But yeah, I would definitely be open to doing something with the Ring of Wealth and the drop table that it works on.
Okay. Is that something we would pull then?
I think so.
Okay. Look out for that. Bosnian says, can we have the white and black graceful die as a new reward from the Brimhaven Agility Dungeon? Haven't seen people ask for it from the Brimhaven one yet, but...
I've seen Brimhaven people asking for something that matches the agility cape, I think.
White and
Oh, wait,
black.
no, that would be the agility arena. Is that what he's asking for?
Yeah, the Brimhaven Agility Arena.
Yeah, I've seen people asking for a die that matches the agility cape from there, just because
It's blue, isn't it?
they
Blue
saw
and
a
red.
blue die when I was offering the Arceus.
Oh,
Right.
we went with purple,
colour,
right?
And we went with purple.
So they
So
so
they
they
want-
want the black set, the white set, and the blue set.
So the black and white set, now that people can get 100% favour in all houses, I think we can just offer it from Austin, right?
Yeah, we could offer it if they get 100 in all the houses.
Do you think it should be one or the other? There's so many recolors of the graceful
what I
sets.
It feels like we're just going to end up having...
Yeah,
An
then they're
infinite
going to be
list
like,
of
no, I want a
different
gold
colours."
one. I don't know what's left.
It is one outfit that I don't mind it so much with because everyone, when skilling, wears it.
If we're going to go any further, we might want to address the question of POH costume rooms with it.
Yes, that's in here
Where's your
somewhere.
question?
Somewhere. Oh, it was Paul's question, actually. I think I actually accidentally jumped over that. That's all right. We would have gotten to it. Will it ever be possible to store recolored graceful sets in player-owned houses?
Yeah.
2 questions down.
If
Yes.
if we add the black and white one, definitely. Maybe even if we don't add it.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that added regardless.
Yeah.
Okay. Sharknado, will Monkey Madness 2 finish the quest line, or will there be more?
That's a terrible name. Terrible film, Sharknado. Have you seen Sharknado?
No.
Because you actually
Sharknado,
watched
okay.
it.
It
But did you
sounds
have
like the sort-
expectations?
This is the thing is, my dad, I go visit my dad every weekend, my parents, because they're getting old now, so I take the kids over. And he likes to record films off the TV and then show them, and Sharknado is one of them. And it is, for those who don't know, a tornado with sharks in it that come and...
This sounds almost as bad as like snakes on a plane sort of film.
It is much worse, but it's... yeah, it's much the most interesting part of that question is his name, quite frankly.
There's a Sharknado 3, I believe.
Yes, I think you're right too. I
There's
remember we
three
watched the
of them.
second one as well, and it had a thing where a shark was being propelled down Los Angeles High Street or whatever it is,
Spoilers.
and a guy stands on top of a car with a chainsaw, and as the shark's coming towards it, he starts his chainsaw up and he cuts the shark in half.
I planned on watching the trilogy this evening, but now I don't have to.
That's the most important part. It's quite wonderful.
So if you want a question,
Anyway, what's the question?
if you want a question answered, don't make your name Sharknado. It's a good question, to be honest. I don't know if we can answer it. Will the Monkey Madness 2 quest
Forgot-
line?
oh, there we go.
Let's not give any spoilers about where the Monkey Madness 2 quest goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't
It doesn't involve sharks, or does it?
So it might be a trilogy, it might not be.
Who knows?
You won't know
Yeah.
until like May or whatever.
Now with more monkeys.
Ish.
Well, at least we know the one thing you can be sure about is at least a 2-part story.
Next question then. Guy says, will the Zenyte bracelet just be a single bracelet like the Regent bracelet, or can it come in fashionable gloves? I think fighting barehanded is ugly. I actually agree with this. And I don't tend to like the fashion skater questions.
So if you're having a street brawl, you want to put a nice bracelet on.
No, I'd rather have gloves.
Okay.
Or at least double bracelets for like OCD purposes and you know.
It does look weird when you're wearing like a set of gear and you can see your hands in
Yeah.
the game.
I think it should be like either 2 bracelets, if we can do that, or...
We can do that.
Okay, that sounds cool then. I'm sold.
It doesn't even need to be a bracelet. They could be jewellery that.
Yeah, jewelry that's embedded into gloves.
That's when people
something
say
with
like,
their
you're not
hands.
giving what you pulled.
It could be a
It's
gauntlet
gloves.
which does have a gem in it, you know.
They'll go in the glove slot no matter what.
They're like
Yeah.
brass knuckles.
Yeah,
There we
that
go.
sort of thing.
Okay. Have you begun thinking what the next new quest will be after Monkey Madness 2? People asking this specifically after Monkey Madness passed with 90-something%, 92%, whatever it was. Obviously, there's a lot of support there for quests.
Something Zaya themed would be nice. We've had enough
That would
requests
make
for a
sense.
Zaya quest.
Yeah, that would make
And
sense.
Lord knows he's got enough lore that's worth exploring in much more detail.
Yeah, it's a matter of. We'll see how Monkey Madness 2 does once we launch it.
Too small favour.
Thank
Two
you,
small
Ronan.
favours
Two
in one
small
quest.
favor coming in from Ronan. Very good.
Return of the Favour.
Electric Boogaloo.
Another small favour.
Another one. Can we have a meme counter
For a
on the
few
stream?
favours more.
Another small favour question mark.
All right, next question then. Boulder asks, when logging in, could a bank pin also be required to drop, trade, or enter the wilderness?
Oh, good lord.
We discussed about different sorts of bank pins. The problem with the bank pin is, and any sort of security measure, if you make it so that it becomes inconvenient to use, people stop using it, therefore it's not a security measure at all. So the way we've got it at the moment is pretty secure, and it's probably about right. Now what we could do at some point, what we're discussing to do at some point, was to have different levels of bank pin, so you decide how secure, how much your bank pin wanted to cover, so you could have it set yourself. But again, that's not a small thing at all to do. But it all boils down to the fact is if we force it so that more and more stuff's covered by it, which doesn't have to be covered by it, then it just becomes unusable and people stop using it, and then the security disappears completely.
Shall we take this opportunity to give them some advice on how to keep their accounts secure so the bank pin isn't even the issue?
Yes, that's a
Definitely.
good idea.
Ash did it last time. Did it quite nicely, I think.
Cool, thank you. Anyone else want to have a go and beat it?
I think you got
Use
set on
something.
stage.
You know what? No, I'm not even gonna bother.
Yeah, you got set on stage, Ash. Go. Everyone listens to you anyway. Close up. Drum roll.
Stare.
Firstly,
You've got to start with Dear Children.
I'm not sure what video you think I'm making. So, firstly, the authenticator. If you haven't got it, get it. It means that to get into your account, as well as your password, they need the thing that only your smartphone, your computer, your tablet, if you will, can generate. So, it makes you more secure because even somebody who sniffs your password, they're going to need this. Secondly, make sure your email account is secure. If you have an email account that anyone can get into, then they will hijack it and start sending requests to remove your authenticator, which bypasses all your security. So you need to make sure people can't get in your email account either. Now, a good email provider will perhaps give you the option of having two-step verification on your email account. Google, for example, with their Gmail, they've got it, so that when you try to log into your email from a strange computer, it texts you or something and makes sure that it really is you knowing the password. You make sure you've got the authenticator on your RuneScape account, and something like this, two-step verification or something equally good on your email account, should be all right. If, on the other hand, you just let hijackers into your email account, then there's not a lot we can really do for you. So please try and do that.
Bank pin? Maybe
We
that
don't
too.
need any bank pin.
Well,
We've
if
got
you
those
can't
two.
log in, then the bank pin's really just the icing on the cake.
It can take the hijacker a little time to get access to your bank, at which point we could probably, hopefully, secure it by that point.
By all means, use the bank pin as well.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why I wrote it.
I'm gonna throw. You wrote the bank pin.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. I'm gonna throw that one up on YouTube. I think
Okay, claps
you
for
got some
now.
clappers.
Yay.
Let's see here. Next question. Where are we at? Another one from Paul, I believe. Yep. Do we have a time frame on the mounted dueling rings and like items in player-owned houses?
We'll file that one along with the request for the
Stuff.
menu for redesigning your house more conveniently. Again, it's something I'd like to see done before the next RuneFest, since we promised it at the last one. But like Matt said, there's a lot of other things on the schedule.
Okay. Smog, will there be an overlap between Slayer and raids?
No, not initially.
It'd be funny if we give him a Slayer task of like the most difficult raid boss.
I suppose, yeah.
If we've put something down there with a Slayer requirement, then we could use a similar mechanic to Soul Wars, for example, where the only the people with the highest Slayer levels can engage with it, but the rest of the team has to maybe do something to bring its Slayer level down so that they can as well.
Yeah, that's good.
It's certainly not out of the question.
It's
Definitely.
Smog, not
There could be
Smog.
room for bits of different skills.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm sure we could find excuses to make your Slayer level useful in there for various other things.
Good question. Next question is from Imperium. Says, when will Mage's lack of equipment variety be addressed? Says, Melee's gotten 3 weapons in the past few months. Range is going to get the Ballista. They want to see something from Mage.
Well, we gave him the Xeric kit with Zaya for low ends, of course, but I think it's, 10 defense requirement rather than the usual kind of thing.
Fill the gap. But
yeah,
we
more helpful for your little pures.
we know Magic's got gaps, and it's something that we can target when we release future content that needs needs a new drop, essentially. It's about finding something that is going to fit its niche, not going to make something at the top tier that's useless. So it's not easy to fill those gaps, but we know it's something that we can fill.
What other options do we have for staves? Like we've got the Staff of Light as an
The
option.
staff of what? Oh, the dead. Yeah.
Right. Well, did we not give the Staff of the Dead different stats, as in it's much better melee-wise? Or
I
was the Staff
believe
of Light
it's
that good too?
identical.
Really? Okay, I
Yeah.
didn't know that. I've never
We-
seen somebody use a Staff of Light.
We
a
polled some
melee weapon.
changes, but the way we polled it wasn't very conducive to it passing.
So some people complain that the Staff of the Dead is also very good, especially the toxic melee weapon, which you can use as a primary melee if you really wanted to. What polypore coming
we have
in?
the
Jeez.
Trident. The Trident essentially
Calm down,
offers you
guys.
the polypore-esque style of magic that you don't require a spell as well. It automatically auto-casts, essentially.
Yeah, the Trident is the polybore staff, just with a PvP restriction on it.
Yeah.
I do hear occasionally people talking about wanting a finishing weapon for magic.
Yeah. I think
Yes.
that is a key thing that magic lacks, is a KO weapon.
Also, in terms of armor, I've had a few suggestions lately that I rather like for putting either drops on the Elder Chaos Druids up the wilderness to also get people up the wilderness again, always nice. So drop it there, maybe give their robes, maybe add some Dagonhai Magi deeper in the wilderness and give their robes. Opinions seem to be divided on whether people like the appearance or not, or whether the stats were applicable, or whether we should choose different stats and maybe a different appearance.
Yeah.
But doing it up there seems like a nice way of going about it. The one thing I did kind of rule out was doing it right outside the mage arena, which is what one person suggested, because that area's already got a use.
Yeah, we do have the gap of the God Wars tier for magic armor. That's a key one. There's a few spots we can fill.
I think it's a very good point that mage doesn't have a strong KO weapon. There's just a very consistent and accurate barrage, really.
There isn't really much for special attacks overall, is there, for magic?
Yeah, if you have any ideas, if you want to be a player designer, if you will, if you have any ideas for any cool magic weapon, KO style weapons that would act similar to like a god sword, if you would, for magic, then go ahead and pitch them to us.
Oh, we've got a
Love to see
request
those.
there for double BHN for Karasi's Polypore Trident of Toxicity. I
Ah,
don't know off
nice.
the tongue.
I would
So
definitely
would that
pass a
actually
poll.
fit in the description?
No, but what the heck.
Staff of Armadillo and Armadillo Storm.
Yes, the
Staff
storm of
from the
Armadillo
bats,
containing
that's-
sharks that are flying in the storm.
The Shark of Armadillo.
Yeah.
Lordy. The Sharknado of Armadillo.
That spell
Job
was
done. Job done.
that spell with that staff was insane.
Chaotic
But
staff.
not for old school, 100%.
Yeah, there's
I
a
think
few
it might be
there.
the We Are the Chaotic staff.
But I did like what the Staff of Armadillo did in that it sped up the spell. It did something different. I think that was a cool feature.
Had a really cool
The
animation.
spell was absolutely ridiculously overpowered, but besides that, the actual idea of a staff being very useful for its related spell was.
I'd like to
was
see
awesome.
something nicer for the standard spellbook. So
What do you think, Jed? Mr. Muted.
Thinking about KO weapons still, and just thinking, how would you even
You know
let that
what?
fit in?
let's try something. Okay, this is an idea. Guys, calm down. Something with necromancy, and to do with the insult head, maybe.
Bringing necromancy into PvP is risky, full stop. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's-
like it could be.
Explosive ensouled heads. You can pack them full of dynamite and throw them at people.
It can
It's
fit
a chin
because they
chomper.
lose vengeance.
Necromancy is talking to the dead, right? So in PvP, you kill someone, then you can taunt them or something.
That works.
Okay. If you guys have any actual ideas, go ahead and pitch them to us. I'm happy to review them on stream. Let's move on then. Menaphos says, can the fence of Taibo One Eye Village be instanced in order for it to be totally repaired? If the fence is totally repaired, we could get a unique reward.
I wasn't
I
listening.
think rather than instancing, he's talking about, it appears differently to different players, so that one person sees it completely repaired and other people see it as broken and they're still repairing it.
Right.
He wants it to be like an actually completable piece of content, I believe.
So it stops breaking again. Tricky if people actually wanted to be able to keep gaining favour for other reasons, if the
Yeah.
whole fence becomes fully repaired permanently for them.
I think the biggest question is what would you want the reward to be? It's not a popular piece of content, so it would have to have something that would really mean people want to go there.
I loved that piece of content when it came out. I played it there all day at the weekend and got enough trading sticks to finally get myself a red topaz machete. And
All
having
that-
got it, I never went there again.
All I remember is when you get those Broodoo victims,
Yeah.
and I had no idea how they worked. I was just attacking. I just can't damage this thing. What's going on? I can't damage it. And they're so dangerous. Every time I ran through that village, they're on.
Someone left one lying around.
Yeah, one's lying around. It's attacking me. They were petrifying.
Maybe you can get the effects of these Broodoo things, so you are undamageable unless it is by whatever it is that you're weak to.
So people have to use food on you to make you drop dead.
Yes.
No,
Here,
no.
eat this.
There is
I don't
one-
want to. Too bad.
Here's the box. I am outside of it at the moment.
There is one fantastic reward, and that's the Broodoo masks. They are amazing.
Could we not get
Does
other
anyone-
outfits to match the Broodoo masks?
Does anyone
Rest
know
of it.
what they do, though?
They
No.
have a slight magic bonus, don't they?
Well, there's that blinking. If you return it into a shield, then it's got a 1 in 10 chance of firing a spell at whoever attacks you that reduces one of their stats by something, and you can't tell it's happened. The only way you can tell, or indeed that they can tell, is that the item's lost a charge.
Interesting.
Nice.
I was working on that thing with the Ring of Recall to make it record damage at the person who
Here we go.
hit.
Someone's just mentioned Witch Doctor staff.
Ooh.
So that is your magic staff from Broodoo stuff. 2 birds, 1 stone. Bish
Yeah.
bash bosh.
Another idea that
Job done.
actually
Yeah.
might make sense is messing with the obsidian staff, which is currently by far the worst staff. It's two-handed, sucks, it's slow,
And rare.
and mega rare.
Well, that's on Karandra as well, isn't it? So
Yeah.
you know, we could combine all 3 bits together. You know, we could just fix the game just with the Witch Doctor stuff.
All right. We're over time, but I think there's a couple more ideas there in the chat that I wouldn't mind kind of quick firing if we can. So an offhand magic orb that uses 25% spec and has the delay of the dragon long spec that increases damage by 50%. What?
I don't
Offhand.
understand. I've just,
Offhand sounds like AOC.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next question then. How about a spell that consumes special attack with an instant cast similar to Vengeance? What?
Just consume somebody else's special attack. See, I've always liked that idea. It's very
It's
powerful.
just like a griefer's favourite weapon. Though.
Yeah, that's
It is, but it's
what I think of
but what it
immediately.
allows us to do is it allows us to have more and more powerful special attacks because there's always a defense to it. So that's the other side of the coin.
That's where you steal someone else's special attack and then cast the amazingly powerful thing.
Yeah,
I just see like a bunch of just
special attack stealing.
people with nothing running out in the wilderness, casting that on everybody, and then just laughing.
We
That's,
can make
that's Jed on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
we can make items that are always risked, right?
Yes.
I think that would be something we don't have too much of. We could do something different with weapons that way.
Are you guys happy to quick fire through a couple of these?
Go,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Okay. Try to get done in a reasonable time today. So, Halsha says, can the 6-hour peace timer, that's not a question actually, he says the 6-hour peace timer can't just be at the start of Deadman season.
It won't be, no.
How is it going to work? Is it going to work if I choose not to log in until a few days later? Will I still have that
We'll
6 hour?
decide that as and when.
Okay.
I
All
do
right.
in 1 week.
Can the Dragon Square Shield be immune to the stun from the Dragon special attacks? Their value is almost as high as Alec price.
And there's probably better ways we can get around that
We talked
than
about.
forcing you to take a Dragon Square Shield.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're onto
I
something.
won't even Dragon Square Shield I use, but that's not.
Yeah.
I don't think that works.
Well, we were talking about the anti-fire shield. which
Yeah,
went quite
we
well.
pulled it, but it failed. I would have really liked to have seen that one pass.
Can you fix the Dragon Scimitar spec so that it stacks like the Dragon Spear spec does? So if
No.
They want us
if
to
you
get rid of
Scimitar
that.
spec somebody 10 times,
I
they
did
wouldn't
that.
be able to protect prayer.
I just
for
want
like a
to. I
minute.
just want to say no.
Okay.
It's not as bad because they
horrible.
would still be able to eat it.
Combo
Sarah,
it though. Combo the spear, didn't they?
When will we get to know the exact requirements, quest, and skill from Monkey Madness 2?
Much closer to the release. if
Imagine
not
as soon as
when
we
it comes.
confirm
Yeah.
exactly what the requirements will be,
Okay.
we'd want to release them
Haven't decided
just
that
so
yet.
people can start working on the stats.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can Full Void do more damage inside pest control?
It's already given you the boost that it does, which is quite good in pest control.
I think it's more. It would give some. It would incentivize going back to pest control after getting Full Void, because I get Full Void, I'm done with it, until I lose it, and then I'm back.
So that's what you're saying,
Because
yeah.
I don't die. A lot of yeses in the chat. I like this idea.
I'm cool with it.
Okay. Which dev is working on Monkey Madness 2 and how are you finding it? Quickfire.
Yeah, I'm working on it, and
Love
yeah,
it.
This is probably why I've not been answering many questions. It's all that's going through my head, and Alfred is working on the graphics for that. So it's looking good.
We often find Jed crying at his desk.
I was going to say, what have you done so far? But no, we can't reveal it.
Yeah.
A lot.
Can we have the ability to get multiple god capes?
Yes. Well, we'll poll it. I don't imagine you voting no.
Can we get a 100% chance of stunning the Dark Core with Emerald Bolts Enchanted after completing the hard/elite Kandrian Diaries?
I would be open to something like that. Switching to that gear and stunning the core is annoying as is. To the point that a lot of people don't bother with that and just dodge it instead.
I know how we can program it all right.
Just have to get it through
Ooh.
a poll.
This would be a really interesting one. Who would vote no to this?
The same
So
people
obviously anybody
vote
who has
no
who
to
doesn't
it.
corp, I guess. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
We could make a higher chance on range level.
There's
Maybe.
a fair few no's up the channel. Maybe
Them
that's what
people.
matters.
The requirement doesn't necessarily have to be the diary. It could be range level or something else.
Okay, that's an interesting one. Maybe with the range cape perk or something like that. Add Kree's sound back. So we took the sound away from the Carrera pet because it was absurdly loud. We just removed it. Some people are saying, I want that back. You've devalued my Kree pet.
Chris, when you say some people, it's one guy on Twitter who responds to every single tweet saying, give Kree sound back.
Ronan's just informed me it's not everybody, it's just one guy a lot of times. Okay, then it's just that. Please poll making pets right-clicked only to interact with and left-click walk here.
Engine, right?
Yep.
Engine means
Your
Good
client's
luck.
game engine work, and that is, of course, queued behind all the other game engine work that players ask for.
Ronan getting some heat for speaking.
Everyone's like,
Shut up, Ronan.
That'll show you.
Ronan, they want to see your hair.
Yeah, I've got to see your hair before we go. Let's show Ronan's hair. and
What
let's,
if
what
we
I do.
Ronan? What if hang on? If we straw poll it, what percentage would you? What percentage of a straw poll would you show your hair on stream for?
I don't care.
On your head.
90?
98%.
98. Come on. I said 95 to eat the donkey sausage.
But that was an actual piece of food sold for eating purposes.
I didn't think it was food.
While this
Try to get a straw poll in
thing
the
going
chat.
on there, someone has asked, it's probably not quite so clear, someone said asked, highest level wins Deadman or last man standing, that's from Lowlander 50. If there is more than one person alive at the end of the hour, so that's at 7:30 on Saturday the 26th of March, the person with the highest level will win. If there's only one person left alive, they will win.
And a question from Dowers TV about whether you can get a skilling pet while you've got a cat following you around. Very specific one, Matt. The answer is yes, the skilling pet will try to go into your inventory if it can. If you're, say, mining at the time, then this may mean that the ore you were about to get falls on the floor while the golem sits in your inventory. But yeah, having a cat does not preclude you from getting the golem.
Interesting. So there's a straw poll in the chat. Go ahead and vote, guys. Do you want to see Mod Run's new haircut? At 96%. Wow. More than their will to watch me eat the donkey sausage.
Yeah. Well, he's going to show it
Ronan,
anyway.
I
can't
feel
Ronan?
privileged.
Ronan and his white knights defending him.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Stick your head in front of that one.
Am I in?
So he's got a normal haircut.
It is a sick
that
fade.
disappointing?
He didn't
got
even
to-
give us a 12.
you got
Oh,
to
come
12.
on.
Come on.
Yeah.
You're
You're not going to start your
Give us a twirl.
modelling career like that, are you?
Yes, you are.
I'll show you the back. There you go. Not so many holes anymore.
So if you're unaware, Ronan got a dank bowl cut for charity. The Game Blast stream this weekend. It was actually Ian who decided to cut a couple bald spots in the back of his head. So when he went to the barber, he had a fun story to tell. But he's recovered smoothly. All right, I'm gonna call that quits then. A little over, that's okay. Yeah. We good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Thanks for watching, guys. Get the stream a follow if you enjoyed, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Night.